Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thank you for joining me today. Hope that you're okay wherever you are in this world. I think about you all often and about the younger women that are joining our community, particularly those in their 50s. When I started 60 and Me, I was, kind of really focused on my own situation because I had been 59 in my mind for like 4 years, and in the world I'd been 59. That's what I mentioned to people if they ever really pushed me on it. But I was 64 when I started this company, and it was 64 years of 4 years of adjustment to that reality that I was 60. So I guess the question today is, if you're in your 50s and you're here watching 60 and Me, or if you're in your 60s or 70s and you can remember that 60th birthday, was it an unhappy birthday for you? Was it like happy birthday to you, or was it unhappy birthday? Now, one of our bloggers, Darlene Barnfield, wrote this article on her experiences, which I just had to laugh at it because she would have a script basically when someone would ask her, how old are you? She would say, well, I don't tell. Never reveal my age or my weight, some joke so that people would just like laugh and then not ask her again or push it. But that was her strategy. And maybe that's your strategy. Maybe even into your 60s now, you're like I was, making up, I'd rather not say, or it's my secret, or make it, into a joke that you can lighten the situation, because in your heart, you're like, oh my God, what is going on? I'm going to be 60 soon. But anyway, the thing that, that actually affects a lot of our decisions to reveal our age is where we're working too. And I worked at Microsoft, as many of you know, for many years, 20 years. And I, knew it was a very young culture. And like, this is in the early, like 1995 to 2003, actually. And it was a place where you had a currency. And it wasn't, I'm not making this as a negative conversation, but people were in their jobs to get a raise, to get promoted, to move into the next great job, and to move up the ladder. And that's kind of the goal when you're in your 30s and 40s. You want to keep achieving more and more. And not that I'm promoting that as the strategy. I think the world needs some shifts and is shifting. But anyway, that when you get to a certain age, that's not your priority. I mean, when I was in my 50s and early 60s, I just didn't really want that battle anymore. That was just me. A lot of women will keep fighting for that for many, many years, and that's great. But I was moving on to different things. 60 and Me. I wanted to do something a little bit different and something for myself. So anyway, the point is, if you're in a young culture, you just don't want to admit that you're over 60. Now, it's kind of funny now because I have a lot of friends who are still at Microsoft and who are in their 60s. And of course, it's changed. The world has changed. So it's not the big deal. But for many people, the place you work, Darlene had been in TV and a youth-orientated culture for sure. I mean, do you see many, I worked at the BBC when I was very young, late 20s. And at the time, the newsreaders were all young. There were some women. I can remember Angela Rippon. Anybody in the UK remember Angela Rippon? And there's others, Esther Ranson and people like that, who were young at the time, and they were doing news and other lifestyle programs, but you never saw them. But now I'm starting to see more older women. But of course, they've got the wrinkles. You've got high definition television, so they're struggling with that, of course, or it's a reality, but there's not as much judgment, in my opinion. I may be wrong about this, but it's my thing. So the currency changes as you get older. And I think for 60 and Me, I just had to come to the conclusion that it was time, And I maybe I should share just a couple of minutes about 60 and Me, because many of you are new. You haven't heard this story before. Maybe you'd like to know how I got started and how and why. Why I got started. And I think that it was pretty much down to the fact that I had been 59 for 4 years. And I didn't admit that even to myself when I started 60 and Me, but it was a winter time. I was visiting, and we're going to get together for a Christmas holiday in Switzerland. And I was in Paris, and I was walking along by Notre Dame, and I had high-heeled shoes on, or shoes with heel. I tripped and fell. I fell on the cobblestones, and I broke my tooth and my glasses, and I got really, kind of beat up, and my arm was hurt. And I just struggled on the train the next day to the place where we were having our celebration, our holiday. My family was all there then, and and so I just I broke out in cold sores all over my lip, because that's where I had the injury, and so I was in bed through the whole time, not able to talk, not able to laugh, and just think, what am I doing with my life? I didn't accept that I was getting older. I was just not careful enough. I'm just going to have to grow up and recognize I'm 64 years old now. I've got to be more aware of my age. So I sent out a Facebook post and said, hey, is there anybody else out there that's having trouble with their happy birthdays, that they're reaching more not happy birthdays as they get older? And of course, within about 2 months, I had 10,000 women from all over the world, actually, who were saying, sign me up, let's join this community together and help each other, because it's hard. And there were no magazines or really online sites. Now there's lots, but we were the first. And, I think that's one thing I'm very proud of, that I stepped in there and gave older women a place to be friends, a place to talk about the things that were on their minds, with family, with jobs, with retirement, with their beauty, with skincare, with life, with just security and confidence. And, it's a taboo now. It was a taboo. And I think it was the last taboo. I mean, ageism, though, is still an ism that is in play. It certainly is not accepted. And women of 50, 60, 70 all around the world are like, putting up their fists and saying that's not going to work anymore. That's not good. Our worth is not judged by our age, but it's there. We have to deal with it. So that's one thing that Darlene talks about in the article, is that it starts really with trying to live with the reality of what we're dealing with. And she said she had a party. She had like a divorce party from her 50s, and just decided that was she's going to celebrate. And that's what, in a way, what I did with 60 and Me. I kind of had a party and said, come on, let's just celebrate this crazy time, because no one else is going to, to do it. And I think that what probably helped us a little bit was the pandemic. Because, and by the way, there's a really wonderful book I just discovered by a woman called Donna Ashworth, and she's a poet. She wrote a book called, I think it was Life Before the Pandemic or something like that. And it's like, over that time, we acquired skills and confidence and a sense that we could do this. We can get through this. If you're 60 years old, you'd been through quite a bit already with other, tragedies and but world and wars and disagreements around the world. But this was different. I mean, this was like when the whole world stopped. And we were all ageless for that moment. We were all the same, whether you were 18 or 58 or 88 or 16. It didn't matter. We were all ageless, dealing with this reality. Now, admittedly, the older people did get some advantages through the pandemic, in the sense that we, from a physical perspective, were maybe a little more vulnerable. So we were given vaccines and given opportunities to stay strong. So I think that was something that, helped a lot. But it also gave us an opportunity to really think about work, what we were doing, the contribution that we were making, and see, and if you're in your 50s now and you're moving into your 60s, see it as an opportunity. It is an opportunity to, if you want to retire, break away and do something that you've always wanted to do. It's true that we want to be considered equals and with the same opportunities, but in many ways we have more opportunity when we're older, because we can do things that we really want to do, and people aren't judging us. We can be the authentic self that we always wanted to be. You've got no more excuses, no more, you can't sort of say you have to do this or have to do that. We have an increased capacity for being strong and authentic and vibrant. And I think that for me, that was kind of the turning point for me. And I approached I'm 73 now, so I went through the 70th birthday, and it wasn't nearly as hard for me as 60. So I guess if you're in your 50s, the message is make it a happy 60th birthday, because you are celebrating a new chapter of your life, a new way forward. And you've got places now to go. 60 and Me is just one of the many places that you can go to get support and help. I mean, I'm happy in some ways that, hopefully in some ways, I stimulated other groups to begin, other bloggers to get out there and start doing things. I mean, I do get lots of emails sometimes saying how much I did influence someone's decision to do a site or a beauty blog or a retirement blog. I'm really happy. And we have many bloggers who have joined our community who like to just do these articles to help support our community and help you know what they're doing for you. As older women, most of our bloggers are doing work and workshops and themes of interest for older women. So, how did you feel when you turned 60? Anyone? Good? Excited? Terrified? And if you're in your 50s, how are you feeling about that approaching date? And if it's coming soon, tell us. We'll give you lots and lots and lots of hugs. Take good care, everybody. I hope this has been a helpful conversation. I look forward to your comments, and please join this, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Come join our Patreon group if you want a more private conversation with older women who are just, we're just chatting about life. It's patreon.com, 60andme. It's just our supporters group, and lots of ways to connect. People are getting together in person, which is so awesome. But anyway, another topic for another day, but have a great, great day wherever you are, and sending you all lots of love. Bye-bye for now.